Covert Ops, The Golden Camel, read by Steve Barker, published by Green Cat Book. Chapter 1, Release. The time is now 0600 and at last been released from the police station in Shanklin after 12 hours of mind-numbing questions on some shooting that took place in American woods a few weeks back. Of course, I denied any knowledge. Now, this wouldn't be too bad, but this is the third time they've dragged me in for questioning. Not only me, the same also applies for Simon and George over on the mainland. I guess that once the local constabulary gets the slightest whiff of your previous life, they make you their first port of contact, the lazy bastards. However, the boys and I have had several conversations regarding this since the first rounds of questions. Surely it can't just be the cops being too idle to come up with any other suspect, so someone would have pointed the finger at us. But who? We will give both George and Simon a call later today. But first, this fat boy needs feeding, and there's an Iranian cafe on the high street that makes the best full English breakfast, which isn't far from here. When I arrive, a young lady, no more than 20, is standing behind the counter, drying cups with an old white linen cloth. "Good morning, sir. Grab a seat anywhere. We'll be over it in a moment," she said, grabbing a menu from the organised stack behind her, under the rows of drinks that lined the back wall. "Thanks. I'll squeeze myself in here." I chose a table close to the open kitchen to watch the chef prepare my food. While I wait, I scan the room, out of nothing more than habit, as I always did. When entering the premises, over on the other side, an older couple in their late 60s sat at one of the tables that lined the opposite wall, chatting away while sipping on some kind of beverage. Apart from them and myself, the place is empty, so the waitress soon appears with my morning coffee. With both hands wrapped tightly around the mug, I take a long sip while checking out the rest of the cafe. The walls have been painted a light red colour, on which hung several photos of unrecognisable towns and villages. I guess they're somewhere in Iran. A sound coming from the door attracts my attention, snapping me out of my mini trance. A middle-aged man, whose clothes have seen far better days, comes in and asks for a hot drink. From his appearance, I would say he's one of the many homeless people who live on the street. To my surprise, he's invited to take a seat near the door, while Laura, I read her name tag, brings him over a large cup of hot beverage of some type. So I guess there is still kindness left in the world. "Here you go. One full English. Would you like a refill of your coffee?" she says, placing the plate in front of me. I drink what remained in the cup and handed it to her. "Yes, please." A glance down at Mickey on my wrist tells me the time is getting on. Not that I have anything to do for the rest of the day, but being the world's worst fidget, I would end up drinking far too much just to keep my hands occupied. Better make a move. Find my lodge in the same state as I left it yesterday, with the remains of a microwave meal sitting on a small coffee table close to the sofa, along with a half-filled mug of cold coffee, which has now formed a thick green crust laying across the chilly liquid beneath. First, I need to remove the police station stench from me, and the kit I've been wearing since last night. So I head for the bathroom. The cleaning up can wait until later. Typical. The moment you get in the shower, the fucking telephone rings. Can't be asked to wrap the green towel hanging from the back of the door around my waist, as I'm the only one here. With water still dripping from me, walk back to the front room and pick up the phone that has, as always, now stopped ringing. Better take a gander to see who it is, I suppose. Enter my 4-digit number into the keypad to unlock the screen. The message reads, "Missed call from George. We'll call him back once I'm dressed." I replaced the mobile back on the table. Lucky for me, the BV970 phone is waterproof, which is a good job, as the thought of drying my hands first didn't even enter my head. A short while later, with my arse planted firmly on the sofa, I dial George's number. After several long rings, he answers the damn thing. "Hi, George. Hope everything is fine on your end." "Morning. Yes, all good here. Just got back from the cop station. More questions on the American Wood job. These fuckers ever give it a fucking rest? Know what you feel, mate. Not even been back long myself. I'm speaking with the police here on the island, and with any luck, for the last time on the matter. Fingers crossed, hey Steve. The reason for my call is I have just spoken to Simon. We're getting together tomorrow around 2ish in Southampton. Believe he may have some work we might be interested in. And the best part, it isn't in the UK. Are you coming over now? You have a shiny new car?" "Of course, George. Couldn't leave you two idiots to organise anything. To use one of Simon's expressions, Steve, the second word is off. Guess the first. That's what I love about you, George. Fuck it all. And yeah, We'll meet you in the Boozer at the end of the High Street around 1400. Well, that's tomorrow sorted. Now what to do for the rest of the day? After the police questioning on several visits to the cop station, it will seem odd if I don't show some kind of interest in what's happening in America Woods, especially after our handiwork. I will take a walk down there shortly to find out what's going on. Oh, the cleaning didn't take as long as I expected, so I might as well get my boots on and head for the woods. Soon reached the farmhouse and couldn't help but glance over to the tree line beyond the pond, where Derek was laid up in his OP not long ago. This makes you wonder if anyone is over there watching me strolling past. If someone is there, it will be the fucking police keeping their tracks on me. The track leading up to Dennis' property is hard going, as it's been pissing it down all night, and the path is now one big quagmire of sticky mud. As I approach the red brick wall surrounding the property, my mind flashes back to several documentaries I watched on television some time ago. One part, in particular, pushed itself to the front. All criminals at some point return to the scene of their crime. So true. In fact, that's what I'm doing. Better ensure I'm not seen by the boys and girls in blue. To this end, I leave the muddy footpath and enter the trees. To my right, heading to the location, our IEDs blew up the vehicle on the way to assist Chad's people. In front of me, about 10 metres away, on the road leading to the gate, a wide area of scorched dirt is cordoned off by yellow and black police tape. Take up a kneeling position on some nearby undergrowth, remain motionless for several minutes. Want to confirm nobody else is in the vicinity. Guess they took the car away for forensic analysis. Only when I'm convinced the place is void of people do I move forward to search for the ground for any incriminating evidence we may have accidentally dropped that could lead back to us. Simon, George and I had already done this once a few days after the attack on Dennis's place. I want peace of mind. Anyway, it never hurts to double check. Can't find anything here, so I cross over the track and headed through the densely packed woods and undergrowth towards the start location of the last mission. From my vantage point, the yellow tape across the entrance can easily be seen. Once more, checked for dropped items. Didn't expect to find any. George is far too professional. Removed the binos hanging from my neck from under my green jumper, where they've been since leaving home, and scanned the area. As I observe the ground to my front, a white transit police van arrives at the main gate. The driver says something to the person I didn't notice until now, and proceeds to drive up to the house's front door. One policeman is standing at the door, guessing he's standing there to control access to the house. About to leave for my home when my mobile phone starts playing my ringtone, High on the Hill. So loud it must have been audible on the mainland. As I fumble to cancel the call, I look up in time to witness the copper at the gate peer over in my direction. Fuck, this so-called professional forgot to turn off the bloody volume. Shit, he must have detected the sound coming from somewhere in the tree line. I observed motionlessly as the man examines the area, looking for the source of the noise. Only when I'm convinced the place is void of people do I move forward to search for the ground for any incriminating evidence we may have accidentally dropped that could lead back to us. Simon, George and I had already done this once a few days after the attack on Dennis's place. I want peace of mind. Anyway, it never hurts to double check. Can't find anything here, so I cross over the track and headed through the densely packed woods and undergrowth towards the start location of the last mission. From my vantage point, the yellow tape across the entrance can easily be seen. Once more, checked for dropped items. Didn't expect to find any. George is far too professional. Removed the binos hanging from my neck from under my green jumper, where they've been since leaving home, and scanned the area. As I observe the ground to my front, a white transit police van arrives at the main gate. The driver says something to the person I didn't notice until now, and proceeds to drive up to the house's front door. One policeman is standing at the door, guessing he's standing there to control access to the house. About to leave for my home when my mobile phone starts playing my ringtone, High on the Hill. So loud it must have been audible on the mainland. As I fumble to cancel the call, I look up in time to witness the copper at the gate peer over in my direction. Fuck, this so-called professional forgot to turn off the bloody volume. Shit, he must have detected the sound coming from somewhere in the tree line. I observed motionlessly as the man examines the area, looking for the source of the noise. After a few agonising long minutes, he turns away and makes his way back behind the wall, likely using a small hut as a control point. Take advantage of this and start walking through the dense woods across the track and head home. Time to discover who the fuck it was who nearly got me arrested by getting my telephone to sing its merry head off at the wrong time. With the phone in my left hand, I unlock the device and navigate to the missed call. It was Lucy. Shit. Forgot she was calling today. We stayed together after the last mission and spent a lot of time in each other's company. Even found her first name is Lucy, not Lorna, as this is her middle name, and she always used it when working. In fact, she is moving in with me. A big step for both of us. The reason why she's not here, she's gone home to go on a planned holiday with her mates before collecting stuff from her mum's house, where she's been living for the past year. Better telephone her when I'm back home. After strolling through American woods, I eventually reach home. About 30 minutes later. Right, one task completed. Better move on to the next and call Lucy back. She would kill me if she ever discovered I referred to calling her as a task, but hopefully there's one thing she'll never find out. Pick up my telephone and dial. Hi honey, sorry I missed your call. I was working down the woods. She would know exactly what I meant and not push the comment. Anybody could be listening. Hi Steve, not an issue. Just called to say I'll be staying with my mum's for a couple of extra weeks. She's not well. I need to take care of her. You okay? Missing me yet? My voice might have replied. Of course I miss you. Hope your mum isn't too bad and gets well soon. But the mind is thinking, fantastic. That may keep her busy while me and the boys go on another mission. Knowing Lucy, she'd want to come along. And she is a trained killer. There again, if the assignment is delayed and she is home, she'll be welcome to join us. Thanks Steve. I promise to be back ASAP. And if you're a good boy, I'll do something special for you. Now that's me, Lucy. That's got my mind racing away in all directions. I love you lots. Stay safe. I will phone you later in the week. Okay, speak soon. I love you too. After that call and the trek through the woods, I think I need a lukewarm shower. Raise my arms and take a sniff of my armpits. Yep, shower it is. I'm planning to go down my local pub for a few cold ones, plus a meal. As I manage to slip back into old habits since Lucy's been away, I'm relying on the good old microwave. The hands of a large grey clock hanging on the wall tell me it is now beer o'clock, and who am I to argue? So grab my coat, lock the place up after placing my trusty leaf in the door, and head for Shanklin High Street and the Boozer. After a quick check around the lodge. The plan is to use the same pub I've been using since before the boys came over last time. Now started to become a regular, and like the welcome with no need to ask what I wanted. I already knew. The walk along the busy street that made its way through the middle of Shanklin is a pleasant one. Crowds of people are going about their business, darting in and out of the local shops, or simply walking and chatting with others. The parked cars that line both sides of the road are starting to thin out, as some stores begin to shut for the night. This idyllic scene in the warm autumn sunshine doesn't stop my hypervigilance checking out everybody who comes too close, working out which ones to take down first, in case any trouble starts. Relief. Time to relax again for at least a few minutes as I reach the door to the pub. With my hand resting on the solid wooden door, I pause and take a couple of deep breaths before completing a shorter version of my breathing exercise. Okay, idiot, in you go. Remember, not everybody's out there to hurt you. The door groans quietly as I push it fully open and step across the threshold into the main bar. The place is quieter than my last visit, with only a small group of people off to my left, all sitting around tables and happily drinking away. 4 more people occupy the tall, dark, brown wooden stools at the long bar that stretches along the far wall, drinks in one hand, chatting away with the person next to them. Turn to look to my right, see if my favourite leather sofas, close to the open fire, are in use. It must be my lucky day. They are free. With any luck, they will stay that way until I get my beer. Several seconds later, a voice from behind the bar shouts out, "The usual, Steve. Is the missus not with you today?" It was Gary, the barman. "Yes, please, mate." "And no, she's at her mum's for several weeks." "No problem. One John Smith's coming right up." "Thanks, Gary." With a pint in one hand, I walked towards the brick-clad fireplace, placed the beer on the table, and warmed my hands by the fire's hot red and yellow flame. Not sure why. It's not cold. Out of habit, I suppose. I slouched back in the soft leather sofas for the next few hours and relaxed, trying not to scan the room for dangers too often. For most of the time, I managed with my mind off to happier times and thinking of Lucy's. She's been good for my mental health. Just sat down with a fresh drink when the groaning of the front door attracts my attention. Take one gulp of beer and place it carefully down on the long 2-footed high table in front of me. before looking up. Standing in the doorway is the recognisable figure of the fat bastard I dealt with when they tried in vain to jump me a while back. Not seen these arseholes in here since. For the moment, they haven't clocked onto me. I continue to the main bar to order a drink. From behind the counter, I can overhear Gary's voice. "You can come in, gents. If there's any trouble from you, you're banned for life." The four nods confirmed they understood. After ordering, and with beers in hand, they turn and went way to the sofas and fire. At the last moment, their brains must have kicked up a gear when they spotted me. My body starts to tense up, with my hands slowly starting to clench into a solid fist, ready for any trouble that might come my way. Looking for us all, they change direction and head for the opposite way, plunking their asses at the tables on the other side of the bar. Thank fuck, as I didn't want to get barred, as I liked the place. The rest of the evening goes well with a hit, apart from the occasional glance over in my direction from my friends. I'm in a good mood, and I'm not going to let some dim-witted numpty change that. A glimpse down at Mickey on my wrist informs me time is getting on, so better head home, as I've an early starting tomorrow. If I don't want to get ripped off by the ferry company, who choose any price they like for a crossing.